Right, this is polynomial questions. Part 1 is a little bit tricky, so as long as we be careful, we should be fine. And part B would present itself once you have part A. Right. So let's start with what's given to you. This is a 0. So that means this is conjugate 1 minus I squared 3 is a 0, 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we use this two zeros to form a quadratic factor, and then work our way through the problem. So yeah, sum of roots would be this. This should be 2, and the product of roots, the product of these two roots, would be 4. Just span carefully, you get 4. That means x squared minus 2x plus 4 is a factor, a quadratic factor to be exact. So what I'm going to do now is we'll equate the polynomial given to a product of two factors. The first one is this one. We found this. Now the second one. Now how to write the second one? This is x power 4, and this here the first factor has x power 2 as its leading term. So you do not have a choice but to have x squared here also, because otherwise you would not have x power 4. And this is 4a, and here is 4. It means that the constant term of the second factor must be a. You don't have a choice, otherwise it's impossible for you to get 4a in at your left hand side once you expand this. And we don't know what this term is, so let's call this bx, right? And we don't really have to expand it, but we can then, just by observation, we compare say the x squared term. Okay, so the x squared term on the left hand side is a, and how about here, the x squared term here? That you should see that this is a to get x squared on your right hand side, so you must have this times this, so you have a negative 2b, and also must be 4, so you have plus 4. And how else do you get x squared term? Let's check. Okay, this is 1, so you must plus a here to get x squared term. So I think that's it. And so then there's a on both sides. This means you have negative 2b plus 4 equals 0. Means b must be then 2, right? B. Now then we can find a by comparing, say, the x term, I suppose. That should work. X term. Now on this side you have 10, and on this side, how do we get this x term? Simple. That's 2x, negative 2x times a. So we have equal to negative 2a, and here must 4 and bx, so you must have plus 4b. And where else you get the x term? Check here, there. That's no more. That's the only way. So that means then negative 2a is 10 minus 4b, but we know what's b. B is 2, so this is 10 minus 8 is 2. That means that a is negative 1. Okay, so we have b equals 2 and a equals negative 1. Now let's move on to the next part. Let me get a pen first. Right? So So now we have px is actually, now a is actually a negative 1 x squared plus 10x, this will be minus 4, because recall that the base b is actually 2, and then a is actually negative 1. Okay, and but we don't really need this, but well, we solved the first part, we found a, but we actually expressed this earlier. This is x squared minus 2x plus 4, and then this was plus bx plus a, but we know what is a now. A is actually negative 1, so we replace with that, and then b is actually 2. So that means this particular factor is actually x squared plus 2x minus 1, and we know the zeros to this, right, because we actually form this quadratic factor using our understanding of a 0. So the 0 to this is actually 1 plus minus I square root of 3. But what about this? So simple, just use the, for this, just use the quadratic formula. So x is equal to negative 2 plus minus b square minus 4ac, so 2 square minus 4ac, it's minus 1 here is divided by 2. You should get negative 1 plus minus 2. So therefore zeros, all the zeros now are known. This is the first one, I mean the first pair from the one given, and then we deduce its conjugate to be a 0 or so, and this one from the second factor.